Hi, it's Colleen Bishop. With all the cooking that we're having to do to make the most of the meat that we've had thaw in our freezer, I decided let's throw in some mashed potatoes. So I'm going to share with you my favorite way in the whole wide world to make the best mashed potatoes, and it involves big, beautiful potatoes from Idaho. I consider potatoes to be a quote-unquote food storage food because they will last in my cool, dry, dark basement for about 6 months. Plus they're so easy to grow with a very short grow cycle. So I would stock up on these whole. I just buy a big old honkin' 50-pound bag a couple times a year, and then we just go through them. Here's the nice thing about making mashed potatoes in a pressure can. First of all, no cutting. Almost no cutting. That's it. All I do is these big old honkin' chunks and put them in the bottom of the pressure cooker. We're just going to do that with all of these. The reason that people make mashed potatoes that don't turn out so good is because they have too much moisture in them, too much water. So keep them in these nice big chunks. They won't have too much water, and they're still going to cook just fine. Now, I love these mashed potatoes, but unfortunately you can only fill a pressure cooker to about 2/3 full. And beyond that, you're going to run into some safety problems. So, looks like we can fit maybe one more potato in there. Alright. That'll do us. It's not completely dense, and it does surpass that 2/3 line just a little bit, but we'll be good. Okay, now, you don't want your potatoes boiling and taking a swim in water. You just want enough water to create the pressure, to create the steam. So, why use water when you can use chicken bouillon? I use the Shirley J chicken bouillon. It's the only bouillon out there that I found that actually has chicken in it. Plus, it was rated as the lowest sodium and best tasting amongst several key chefs, some of your best known restaurant chains throughout the US. So I'm just going to put, it only takes a half teaspoon of chicken bouillon for a full cup of water. We're probably going to do 2 cups of water. So, use filtered water. I'm just going to pour it over the top here. And I just want to be able to see it on the bottom of my pan. I don't want my potatoes going for a swim. And then last but not least, of course, we're going to add some salt. I use the real salt. This isn't just for flavoring. It also helps with the cooking. It also helps with the proper moisture retention that I do want from the potatoes to get out that flavor. And now we're just going to put this on high. This is just a regular little Korean cook stove. By the way, you don't want to store your Korean cook stoves with the butane can in there. So we're just going to shut that. And to turn it on, you just push this down like so. So we should have, you can see we have a full flame here. As soon as I start getting the least little bit of steam on these potatoes, that's when I'm going to put the lid on. I wait until I actually get that steam. In the meantime, I only use the Kuhn Recon pressure cooker because of its myriad of safety features. This is easy, nice and easy to clean. If ever you have a hard time, for some reason your pressure cooker isn't sealing right away, you can just get this wet and then put it in, and then it'll seal really nicely. Anyway, make sure all of these parts are nice and clean. Clean around here as well. And then when it's time to use it, we just put our little, it's another little protective safety feature for the Kuhn Recon pressure cooker. Okay, as soon as it starts steaming, we will put the lid on. So we'll just wait a couple of minutes. Alright, we have a little steam now, so we're just going to put this on. See, it's already coming up to pressure here. We want it at high pressure for about 7 minutes is all. And the rest is the fantastic stuff that happens as soon as we cook the potatoes. So I'll be right back with that. Now look, even with the littlest, this is the lowest I can get the flame to go on this. And even with that, we are still at plenty of pressure on here. So we're all finished with this. We're just going to turn off the heat completely. And just so I don't forget, remove the butane can, because I have a tendency to forget that. Just release the pressure. Okay, the pressure's completely released, and I know that because it let me open it. That's one of the nice things about Kun Rakan, is that it doesn't let you open it unless the pressure's released. Now, when you lift the lid, you want to make sure you lift it away from you to avoid any burning. So we had this going for only 7 minutes, and you'll see the fork just pierces these just fine and dandy. They're nice and tender. And they're not too wet because they weren't swimming the whole time. So now comes my favorite part, using a potato ricer. Okay, so a potato ricer is just that. You put the potatoes in, and it's going to be a little challenging because we left the skins on like I wanted to. That's alright. And then you just push your potatoes through the ricer. It looks like you've got rice coming out, and instead you've got potatoes. They're pretty, huh? So we're going to do that to all of these potatoes in here. And I just mix the, I just pull out the skin and put that into the mixture as well. And as soon as we get done with that, I'll be right back. You can do this with zucchini, turnips, cauliflower, squash, anything. I mean, you can have some fun with this wonderful little ricer. But it's awesome with potatoes. Okay. So now we're done with that. And now, aside from the butter and the salt and pepper, you got all kinds of options. Okay, so fresh ground black pepper, wonderful real salt, and of course butter. Now I bottle a lot of my butter, but I also freeze a lot of my butter, and I like to cut it just a little bit before putting it in. Now, some people put cream, some people put milk, some people put cheese in their mashed potatoes, garlic, etc. There's all kinds of possibilities, but you can do that even when you're living off of shelf-stable foods. So for example, you can use the non-dairy creamer. That's just basically cream, and you can mix that into your mashed potatoes, or you can use the powdered cream cheese, which is really yummy as well, or you can use the powdered sour cream. Now I also wax hard cheeses in my household, and Asiago cheese is one of those cheeses that's great to wax. If you want more information on this, you can just go to our website at preparednesspro.com and look under the tab that says Prep Pro Classes. There's a great detailed tutorial on how to wax your own cheese. But this is Asiago, just about 1/3 of a cup that I like to put in there. And now I'm just going to stir this up. You'll notice there's no water in here, which is the #1 reason why mashed potatoes don't turn out well. So I want the butter to melt. I'm actually going to use the cream, the non-dairy creamer. Give me just a little bit more moisture. All you have to do is, I just do a dab of everything. A little bit of the powdered sour cream, a little bit of the powdered cream cheese, a little bit of the non-dairy creamer until it's a nice thick consistency. And then put that in. Oh, perfecto! A little bit more salt. And we have arrived. If I had some freeze-dried chives, I'd throw those in right now. Not sure where those are. Are those beautiful or what? They're fluffy. They're so fluffy! Fabulous. See how fluffy they are and yet dense? They're not watery. These are gonna taste some kind of good. So great for serving with just about anything. And remember, potatoes can last a really nice long time in your root cellar or your cool, dry, and definitely dark storage. Until next time, visit us at preparednesspro.com for lots more tips and tricks in living a self-reliant lifestyle.